Cities Skylines 2 has received a brand new update, and along with it some news about the upcoming region packs. So let me take you through all the details you need to know about both of those things, starting with the region packs. As a reminder, the region pack project was a Paradox initiative which aimed to create region theme specific custom content developed by Cities Skylines 1 modders for the release of this sequel. They've also had a quick note here about the asset editor and where it's up to. So while you might think the development of the region packs is tied to the state of the asset editor, it's not a guarantee that the asset editor is done. The development of the editor is still ongoing, and the release of these packs is a result of a temporary workaround done by Paradox and Colossal Order. So these region packs will be available on Paradox mods for free for everyone, and generally these packs contain growables and service buildings following the theme of the regions they belong to. The exact included items will go alongside the launch of the pack, so we don't know the exacts just yet. The first pack is next week on the 28th of October 2024 with the French pack, and this is inspired by Paris, and it features different zone types and iconic signature and service buildings. The 11th of November is the German pack. Then on the 25th of November will be the UK pack with low density row housing and estates, and also planned packs are for Japan, China, Eastern Europe and USA, both East and West, but there's no dates for those as of yet. And that is your region pack sort of news update. Now let's go on to updates. This was update 1.1.10 F1, and I mentioned this just before, but they've done some back-end changes to enable the upload and download of the upcoming region packs, while the asset editing features are not fully yet complete. They found a workaround to make these uploads possible. And also bear in mind that mods may need to be updated for this patch to work correctly, so bear that in mind. I'm going to start with known issues and tips. The existing cities will need to zone commercial and bulldoze existing commercial buildings for hotels to appear in the city. Keep in mind that tourists will need leisure and attractions to visit, so make sure your city has these. Good public transport both in, from and within the city can help increase the number of tourists. And you may experience some noise pollution coming from highways following the balance changes to pollution, and may want to add sound barriers to areas near residential zones. So let's talk about the gameplay fixes and improvements. They fixed homeless citizens waiting endlessly for public transport of the international airport. They fixed homeless tents not disappearing from the park when the homeless citizens stop inhabiting the park. For tourism fixes, they fixed hotels not spawning in commercial zones despite the high city attractiveness. They fixed the city statistics panel displaying 0 for the used/unavailable hotel rooms while hotels are present in the city. They fixed tourists idling inside buildings indefinitely, and they've done some fixes to seasonal weather effect values. Comfortable temperatures have a positive effect, while very hot or cold temperatures have a negative effect, and increased preference for straight paths for vehicle pathfinding to reduce buses and trams taking unnecessary detours on their routes between stops. They've also adjusted the fire spreading probability from 0.05 to 0.3 to ease the fire spreading to nearby buildings. They've also adjusted air pollution. Overall, more air pollution is generated, it spreads slightly more and dissipates slower. They fix issues relating to road-based noise pollution and balance road-based noise pollution to account for changes. The results in similar noise pollution non-highway roads, with highways producing slightly more noise pollution. They fixed the pollution emitting by vehicles being visible only above roundabouts and the edges of map. They fixed transport stop icons within stations sometimes disappear when highlighting one of them. They fixed cars parking in motorcycle parking lots. They've also done fixes to subway stations, workplaces and garbage accumulation values to match the design with the other stations. Issues with the company and city service worker calculations and unified the calculations. The disaster response units unable to reach the destination when sub-buildings are burnt down. A bug in worker and workspace related data leading to inconsistencies in numbers found in population info view, workspace and view, chirps and statistic graphs. Also done fixes to a crash to desktop when pressing cancel action while holding apply action over net segments in Bulldozer tool. They've also fixed a crash to desktop relating to mixed residential buildings. For UI fixes and improvements, they've updated the info mode background to be darker for better readability, updated the leisure type icons, updated resource icons to remove excess empty space. They've improved ore icon to be more visible, improved the RCIO zoning info views to clearly show empty buildings. They've changed the European theme icon to be more readable and distinguishable from the North America. They fixed an issue causing the road length tooltip to quickly change position and display different length values when building a straight road. They fixed the road length tooltips which can disappear off screen if the middle of the road segment is off screen, the tooltip will now be shown at the mouse position next to the cost tooltip. They've also fixed citizens' destination, showing the prefab names instead of the city names when moving away or going to school in the outside connection. They fixed text of a city name, which can get truncated if it's long enough and if it doesn't contain spaces. They fixed the text share of the city's monthly income spend on loan interest disappearing if the spent income is higher than 100%. They fixed the controller hints in multiple places. They fixed city attractiveness in info view, which can exceed range of 0 to 100. They've also fixed the selected info panel title bar not growing with the text scale. They've also done fixes to info view tooltips opening behind menu, leisure type for chirpex from meals to city indoors, tree tooltips display incorrect costs, the hide UI option does not hide a mouse cursor, evacuation bus uses the transportation service icon in the selected info panels, the temperature value can be shown as -0, the random traffic personal cars show at least one passenger, the emergency battery station upgrade diesel generator not showing power generator, megawatt value in the build menu tooltip, as well as fix the grid mode being available when building bridges, the value of residential suitability in residential info view is changing rapidly, the citizens tutorial pop-up sometimes rendering outside or at the edge of the screen, some tutorial tasks appearing minimized and cannot be expanded while using controller, tutorial for services selection displaying out of the screen with bigger text scaling, milestone pop-up card can be obscured by the tutorial balloon if the mentioned card pop-ups when the tutorial was displayed on the screen, an issue with the chirps in the chirps panel being cut off, and several text and translation fixes. For audio, they've done a bunch of fixes with several missing sound effects. The sound effect of terraforming does not stop after closing the landscaping menu while terraforming, an unrelated whoosh sound that can be heard during the loading screen when a game is started or loaded, active gameplay sounds can be heard in the background of the main menu, office, commercial and industrial signature buildings playing audio when not rented by a company, residential signature buildings playing sounds when they are not functional, destroyed building upgrades keep playing their sound effects, deactivated building upgrades playing sounds, overground car parks car wash upgrade not playing sounds, the subway station services upgrade sounds, missing sound effects indicating an issue when attempting to build an upgrade directly adjacent to the main building while it is on fire, vehicle sounds persist at a large height in photo mode, vehicles get inaudible in photo mode after moving horizontally, crash vehicles having idle engine audio, missing night ambient sounds, forest fire, audio loops does not stop despite trees being burnt down, multiple radio ads playing without their corresponding companies present in the city, radio emergency broadcast triggers and adjusted their delays, missing host talk segments on the smooth beat radio channel, missing the radio event celebrity interview with rock musician Mansion, tourism related radio events not triggering despite meeting criteria, the free public transport radio event not playing when transportation fee is set to 0. For miscellaneous fixes and improvements, they've done an update to Unity 2.22.3.44F1. They've improved the snapping for intersection placement to be stronger. They've added support for snapping to existing net geometry when placing objects with built-in network. This affects pre-built intersections, transport stations, depot of tracks, and utility buildings, power line, or power pipe connection points. They've added options to invert the mouse, gamepad, stick X, Y axis. They've added options to change camera rotation, zoom, and moving and scrolling sensitivity. They added fast move camera action for the keyboard, which is Shift plus WASD. They've added currently selected height to a level landscape tool. They've improved view when using the terrain tool to show tunnels and pipelines. They've improved the bulldozer for the use with a controller. They've fixed a bug in the bulldoze tool that can cause crash when trying to bulldoze roads when it's allowed. They fixed the landscaping brush sizes not changing until the camera is moved when it's using a controller. They've also fixed the radio ad setting resetting every time the game is relaunched. Selecting the radio network and station isn't saved between game sessions. Tutorial behavior when reloading a map and continuing tasks. Tutorial task connecting turbines is not plated if wind turbine was placed as already connected to the road. Construction crane being visible after building is destroyed. Potential pathfinding issues or crashes after modifying areas with navigation, specialized industry and landfill. A crash of the UI system when placing objects supporting the brush tool in the editor. Some overlapping issues with elevated net pillars attached underneath roads. A bug where players could turn off the unlock map tiles option when loading a save that had been made with the option on. Keyboard inputs not working after entering Steam Overlay. Unnecessary pedestrian access notifications when small high school and medium parking lot are placed next to each other. Added a keyboard shortcuts for all toolbar buttons. They've also added keyboard shortcut hints to button tooltips and the option show shortcut hints to settings, which allows to disable them. They've also added keyboard shortcuts for all buttons in the selected info panel like relocate building and activate building. For modding changes, they've added support for custom climates for maps, and they've also fixed game freeze when putting 10 integers in objects X or Z position in editor mode. And for Paradox mods and SDK, it's Paradox SDK 1.24 4.0 version, where they fixed the language code using a traditional Chinese when retrieving legal documents by type. They've removed the deprecated ISO 6391 language code BH, and for Mods UI version 1.7.2, the mod sync failed in modal now allows retrying the sync without going to the mod list. Now, I know I said that was the final change, but they actually did a hotfix when I was in the middle of editing. So they've done a patch notes for 1.1.11 F1 for Paradox Mods and STK, which was they fixed a bug relating to syncing mods. So that should now be fixed for those people that have been having issues with that. And that is it. That is your update and the region pack news for City Skylines 2. Let me know what you think of all this in the comment section below, whether that's good or bad. If you enjoyed this video, found it helpful and informative, and I'd like to see more content like this one, make sure you are subscribed. If you want to make sure you're up to date on the latest news and updates for racing and simulation content, including City Skylines 2, you can stick around, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.